it's Kai. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a brand new speed build video. And in today's video, we are turning back into building in Henford-On-Bagley, which is the world that came with the Cottage living pack. And this build was actually done before the My Wedding Stories pack came out, so it is like a week late. But today I decided to show you guys this build that I did prior to the new pack coming out, and we are basically taking a pause for one video in building in Tartosa. So this build is basically a small cottage which is fitted only for one sim because it is very small and tall, and I decided to go with a forest theme and also some farming theme. You will see after this why, but it is a simple structure fitted for one single sim, and I saw this post on Pinterest and I decided to kind of copy it a bit in terms of the structure, but the colors that I use and also the color scheme is very different compared to what I saw on Pinterest. And this cottage is pretty small. We are building on a 20 by 20 lot, if I'm not mistaken, called 4 Old Mill Lane. And I'm not so sure if there was an existing household that lived here. I don't think there is, but it just is a pre-built lot. But I deleted that house, so I don't know what was built before I built this build. But I decided to go with something very peaceful looking and calming, and also just something that blends with nature. As you can see around the lot, there are a lot of trees. I was thinking whether to call this a forest cottage or something along the lines of that, but I don't know, to be honest, what I should call it. So I think I will just for now call this video a green cottage or a forest cottage, and that's because of the trees that you see behind the slot. But in front of it, I don't think there is a lot of plants going on. It is a concrete road, if I'm not mistaken, so it's just that you view it from the front of the slot. You can see a lot of trees at the back. So that is the name, I guess. It's called a forest cottage, and I built this build, like I said, before the new pack came out. But then after the new pack came out, I decided to put this build aside first and then later on continue building it. But after I continued building it, I of course used some of the stuff that comes with the new pack, which is the My Wedding Stories pack, because I believe they are suitable with one another. The Cottage Living pack and also some of the items from the My Wedding Stories pack have some common theme going on, so I decided to, just use those two together and also combine them with other packs. I think, for example, Get Together and also City Living. I chose to use a bit of items from City Living pack because some of the items actually have nice patterns on the swatches, so you will see that I will also be using that pack. I think, if I am not wrong, I also forgot because it's been a while since I continued this build. But this build, as you can see, the landscaping is pretty much simple, and there is a pond on the left side of the house, and over on the right side in the gates over there, I figured that should be a farming place. So basically there is a chicken coop and also a stall, which is Miss Crumplebottom's stall. I imagine that the sim that lives here probably sells what they forage from the forest, so they sell it at a booth which belongs to Agnes Crumplebottom, unfortunately, in front of the house, and also hire a vendor. And I don't think that my sim can actually become a seller for that. I'm not so sure because I don't really play the game. But I figured that it should be a nice setting, and it's just like a mini garden / outdoor store for my sim to sell some produce or foraging stuff that they found in the forest. And over here you can see I've started to use some items from the My Wedding Stories pack, and I used that wedding arch as kind of this entryway for the main entrance. Basically not the main entrance, it's like the second main entrance. And also I added this pagoda thing that I really love from the new pack, which I used 2 times in two of my builds, I think. And it's just very, very pretty, and I really like the overhanging flowers on top of it. Luckily, I don't think this is a debug item, so I don't know, it might not be functional, I guess, but it is just for pure decoration purposes. And I also use some vines and just to cover up the walls that look empty. But we are moving on into the interior right now, and we are starting off with this kitchen over here. I decided to make this area the kitchen because there is some items that are protruding the wall so you can see it from the inside, which is the water wheel. So I decided to cover them up with the kitchen cabinets that are from the Cottage Living pack. No, they're not from Cottage Living. They are from the Country Kitchen kit. And I really like the design because it really looks rustic and also looks suitable for this type of vibe that I was aiming for. I decided not to put any upper cabinets because the stuff over here already has something on it. I do in the end put in this shelf over here, which is from the Cottage Living pack, but I don't end up putting anything above it because I like it the way it is, that looks empty. And so I just decided to use it as a decoration for the stove and cabinet to replace the cabinets that are supposed to be on top. But we are moving on to the living room over here, which is a pretty small area. I used the bench that I've never used before from the Cottage Living pack. I figured that it should be on the inside of the house instead of the outside because it looks different and it is something different for my build. And I also used this gorgeous fireplace from the same pack and just cluttered it up with a couple of books and candles and stuff like that. And then this small area over here is going to be the dining area, which is fitted for 3 Sims, but this house only has 1 Sim, so maybe your Sim that lives here can have some guests that are her or his friends that come here and have some tea. And then we are moving on to the upper ground level, which is the only bedroom in this house. As you can see, it is a singular bedroom. I imagine that there is a young adult Sim who lives here, so it is just a single bed. And I figured that she also really likes to do activities such as foraging and also journal about it, I guess. So I put in that typewriter from the Cottage Living pack, which is pretty. And then I paired some of the bedroom items with the Discover University pack, I think. Or is it Tiny Living? I'm not so sure. But I think that is it for the interior part, and we are going to be moving on to the porch area after this. After I place this decorations on the hallway, I just decided to keep it simple. But we are moving on to the porch area, which I just decorate it very, very simply with a couple of planter boxes, a rocking chair, and also a flower arrangement table, which I figured that the Sim could make use of it a lot since it is a forest themed cottage. And that's basically it for the video. I really hope that you guys will like this video. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. The build is up in the gallery under my ID, which is simmerkhai if you want to download it, and I hope to talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!